Okay, so let's turn our books over to page 99. All right, and let's practice a little bit more. Okay, let's have some more conversation, actually use what we've learned so far. All right, B, talk with a partner. Ask and answer questions. Use for or since. Okay, so we have 8 pictures here. All right, the first conversation is done for us. So in our eight pictures, we have Sandra or Sandra, Ron, Latifa, Jerry, Felix and Pablo, Sharon, Brad, and Elena. All right. So the conversation goes like this: how long has Sandra been talking on the phone? For 20 minutes. Okay. So number 1, we have to use talk. How long has Sandra been talking on the phone? For 20 minutes. All right. Let's go to number 2. Ron. How long has Ron been waiting? How long has Ron been waiting? Since 8 o'clock. Since 8 o'clock. Latifa. How long has Latifa been studying? How long has Latifa been studying? How long has Latifa been studying? Since this morning. I'm going to say since this morning. How long has Jerry been practicing keyboarding? How long has Jerry been practicing keyboarding? Since 10:30. Since 10:30. Number 5, Felix and Pablo. How long has Felix and Pablo been painting the house? How long has Felix and Pablo been painting the house? For 2 days. For 2 days. Number 6, Sharon. How long has Sharon been working in the restaurant? How long has Sharon been working in the restaurant? Since 2011. Since 2011. Or 2011. Number 7, Brad. How long has Brad been looking for a job? How long has Brad been looking for a job? For several weeks. For several weeks. Number 8, Elena. How long has Elena been attending the school? How long has Elena been attending this school? Since last semester. Since last semester. So I hope you got that right. I hope you were able to follow along with me. Please practice this, because since and for, we've used it before. We've studied this before, and we've had conversations with this before, but it's been a long time. So it would be good to keep practicing. So please practice this over and over to get it down correctly. All right? Write a sentence about each picture. So please take some time and write a sentence about each picture here in complete English sentences, or use complete English sentences. All right, so the first one has been done for us. Sandra has been talking on the phone for 20 minutes. Okay, great. So let's take some time and do that, and then we'll move on. Okay, so hopefully you had some time to write down those sentences. So now let's move on to number 3, communicate. So we're going to continue to communicate, okay? And I encourage you to find somebody to communicate and to do this activity with, okay? It would be good to maybe set up a Zoom call with another classmate, another student, so that you can go through this. But let's go through this together, and just to see how to communicate, all right, how we use this page. Talk with your classmates. Find a person who does each activity. Ask how long the person has been doing it. Complete the chart. So the question is, first one, do you drive? Person's name is Josephina. She answers, yes, I do. Good. All right. So the next question is, how long have you been driving? How long have you been driving? For about 6 years, or since 2012. All right. So now it's your turn. Find somebody who you can have a conversation with and ask these questions. Do you cook for yourself? How long have you been cooking for yourself? Do you attend the school? How long have you been attending this school? Do you work in this country? How long have you been working in this country? Do you speak English? How long have you been speaking English? Do you use a computer? How long have you been using a computer? Okay? Then share this information with about your classmates. So please feel free to share this information with the rest of the class in our WhatsApp or in our Zoom meetings, our weekly Zoom meetings. Okay? Great. Let's move on. Okay, so Lesson C, Unit 8, talking about work, employment. Before we move on, let's talk about phrasal verbs, sometimes called two-word verbs. All right, so we're going to go through this to make sure that we understand the next section. I'm going to give you a little extra information here. All right. A phrasal verb consists of a verb and a preposition or adverb that modifies or changes the meaning. All right. Here's an example. Give up. Two-word verbs, okay? Give up is a phrasal verb that means stop doing something. Okay? Give up means stop doing. We use this a lot, right? Even in our native languages, we use phrasal verbs, all right? Two-word verbs, all right? And it's not really something that's very difficult to learn. It's just that the examples, the definition can be kind of hard to understand, okay? So I'm going to try to break this down as easy as possible. Think of phrasal verbs as just two-word verbs. A verb that's made up of two words, okay? A verb and a preposition, or a verb and an adverb, okay? An example of this is give up. Hey man, just give up, or stop doing this. Give up singing. you don't sing well, so give up singing. Stop singing. All right? Now, give up is different than just the word give. All right? Give up means, when we put these two words together, it means stop doing something. All right? Give means to hand somebody something. Okay? That's that verb. All right? Give up means just to stop. All right? So, prepositions or adverbs, right? So we talked about a phrasal verb consisting of a verb and a preposition, or a verb and an adverb. So let's go over what these mean again so that we can refresh our memory. All right? Prepositions and adverbs. Adverb review. Prepositions. A preposition is a word that links a noun, a pronoun, or a gerund to other words. Okay? Here's some examples. When we're talking about direction, he's going to the shops, or he's going to the store. Location, it is in the box, right? So if you order something, let's say from Amazon, when you receive it, it's in the box. Time, he left after the lesson had finished. Okay, so when we're talking about time, he left after the lesson had finished. We could also say he left before the lesson had finished. It's still the same preposition. Okay, and then the last example would be possession. Possession, to have something, right? The government of Italy, right? The government of Italy. So these bold words are our prepositions. Okay? A preposition is a word that links a noun, a pronoun, or gerund to other words. Let's review adverbs. An adverb is a word that modifies the meaning of a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Okay? Here's an example. Adjectives ending in L still take ly. For instance, the word careful ends in L, right? If we're going to turn it into an adverb, right? It's carefully. We added ly. Even though we had that L, it's now carefully. Adjectives ending in y change to ily. For example, lucky. Lucky ends in y. When we turn it into an adverb, it's luckily. ily. Adjectives ending in ble change to bly. Okay? When we turn an adjective ending in ble into an adverb, we change it to the ending to bly. For example, responsible. Responsible. When we turn responsible into an adverb, it becomes responsibly. Responsibly. Okay? So please pause this video and rewind it if you don't understand this, if you don't understand phrasal verbs, okay? But we're going to keep going and talk about some more examples. Phrasal verbs. Remember, these are two-word verbs. Phrasal verbs are everywhere in English, in the English language. They pop up, right? That is a two-word verb. That is a phrasal verb. They pop up in most discussions at the office and while spending time with friends and family. Phrasal verbs are short little 2- and 3-word phrases, right, that can help or hurt your ability to understand something during conversation or while reading. Okay, so let's go over a few common phrasal verbs used in everyday speech. First one, hang out, right? Hang out. That's meeting with somebody, or just being out, meeting with somebody. All right. Put down. Put down. All right. Bring up. Bring up. Call off. Call off. Hold on. Hold on. Watch out. Watch out. Act up. Act up. Kick out. Kick out. Let down. Let down. And then the last one is make up. Make up. All right? So take some time to look up these phrasal verbs so that you understand what they mean. Okay? Good. Let's move on. Okay, so let's turn our books over to page 100. All right? Page 100, Lesson C, Phrasal Verbs. Number 1, grammar focus. Separable phrasal verbs. Sounds like a lot there. Let's find out what this means. A phrasal verb is a verb plus the preposition. Okay, we talked about that. The meaning of the phrasal verb is different from the meaning of the verb alone. Okay, so we talked about that as well. Just because we have a word give up, right, a phrasal verb that says give up, that's different than just the word give. All right, these phrases are separable. Separable because you can put the second part of the phrase before or after the object. Okay, so separable verbs, all that means is that they is that you can put the second part of the phrase before or after the object. Okay, so let's look at some common separable verbs, phrasal verbs. Okay, call back. Call back. Clean up. We use this a lot, right? Clean up. Fill out. We use this a lot too. Fill out. Hand out. We use that a lot. Put away. Throw out or throw away. Very common, right? Turn down. Turn off or turn up. All right? So let's look at some examples of how we use separable phrasal verbs. Statements. Alfred handed out the papers. Okay? It's separable, right? Handed out is separable because you can put the second part of the phrase before or after the object. So let's look at that. The statement was, Alfred handed out the papers. He handed the papers out. All right, so now we separated handed out, right? And we said he handed the papers out. We could also say he handed them out. Them being the papers. So you see here, it sounds like a very complicated, very hard thing to know, but separable phrasal verbs, all that means is that these are phrases that are separable because you can put the second part of the phrase before or after the object. Second part of the phrase is out. You can put it before the object, the papers, or after the objects. The paper's out. Them out. Okay? Hopefully you understand that. If not, let me know and we'll go over it together. For now, let's move on. Okay, so in our next video series, we will go over our practice. All right, we will actually practice these phrasal verbs. We will also practice separable phrasal verbs using the common separable phrasal verbs. All right, so stick with us and we will get to practice our phrasal verbs. In the meantime, go ahead and fill this out, and then when we start the video, we can jump right into talking about these and filling them out together. All right.